Different and exciting. We are running a book competition. Now, with Mandela Month coming to a close, 67 lucky viewers stand a chance to win a novel, a motivational book, or even a coffee table book. All you have to do is answer this simple question: why do we spend 67 minutes every 18th of July on community service? Now, send your answer via email to morninglive@sabc.co.za, tweet us using the handle @morninglivesabc or the hashtag morninglivesabc. And still on our book segment this morning, educational psychologist and primary school teacher Joe Hamilton, accompanied by Illustrator Shayle Bester, have put together a must-read book for all parents who want to raise their kids to become the best versions of themselves. Now, the debut visual read, titled The Ultimate Assertiveness Toolbox for Kids, contains practical and realistic tips that guides young ones to be quite assertive and then help them to stand up to themselves. Now, Joe joins me in studio to help us unpack her latest offering. Now, this book touches on assumptions that affect so many parents and kids. A very good morning to you once again. Now, what inspired you to put pen and paper to this?
Well, simply where I have been working with children for many years, and actually it's the children who inspired me. I was running the program for over the 9 years, and it was so effective, and the children kept saying to me, "But Joe, this really works," and it was doing so well that I decided to write it down to share it with more children and more families, I'm hoping, throughout South Africa and ultimately the world.
Yeah, and the focal point, perhaps in this book, is the issue of meanness and bullying. Yeah. Why do we still see the kind of behavior in children?
Unfortunately, it is a reality with human beings. You know, children spend a lot of time with each other during the day. It's almost like being in a classroom setting. It's like having a whole lot of unwanted brothers and sisters. And you can imagine mean words, nastiness, unthoughtfulness comes out from time to time, even with the best intentions. And bullying does happen, unfortunately, in all schools. And schools are working very hard to address children with that, because it's a very destructive behaviour, and we need to stand up to nastiness and educate children not to be like that. And there are other alternatives of how to express your thoughts and feelings. There's a lot of reasons why children might bully or be very, very nasty. Sure. And we need to help them as much as you help the child who might experience the bullying, because that can have lifelong, lasting consequences. Yeah.
You also talk about the I message, talking about oneself, me, me, me. But then, Joe, there's two sides to this. One may argue that it actually promotes or encourages self-centeredness and narcissism in children. But then on the flip side, it actually helps and encourages the children for whoever is listening to them, to listen to them.
Yes, I think it's choosing the moment. We can't always, in life, you're not always assertive. At times, it's actually quite good to be passive. In other words, you want to give to the other person because you might get back by being friendly or kind. It's choosing your moment, and in life decide, when is it important for me to share what I think and feel, and then do it in a way which is respectful of the other person's thoughts and feelings. And that's my crux. It's not to be mean back, but to actually say, this is what I think and feel. And then the person can respond. But like with the I message, it often starts a conversation. Then the other person can say, this is what I think and feel. It may not be, you may not come to the same agreement, but that in a sense you actually learned more about each other and you've got to know each other more. And that helps going forward. It's more constructive, I find.
I quite like the example that you use, that teaches kids whenever something mean is being said to them. You had said that, say, for instance, a mean kid says, "You run like a retard." And then that kid should say, should shrug and say, "I like myself the way I am."
Yes. I mean, I like myself just the way I am. It's like a stock tool that works so well in so many situations, because it's saying that I'm okay. And it's not, children are so sensitive, and adults too, about coming across as boastful, and it's not at all boastful, but it's saying this is who I am.
And it's actually a very powerful tool for shy kids who are reserved and cannot talk back to others.
Absolutely. It's a lovely, because they can just remember that too. And I would love all children to believe, and all people to believe, they are fine just the way they are.
Indeed, Joe, that is so true. Now, what role should parents and teachers be playing, in making sure that their kids don't get bullied?
For me, it's actually assisting children with tools. That's why I wrote it down with skills, because for some kids, they're able to pick up these nuances and how to handle situations quite well on their own. They can just pick it up in the playground. Other kids really struggle, and they need time. As parents, we generally say to kids, go play with somebody else, go tell the teacher, just ignore the person. And those are 3 of the tools I've got. But children get frustrated with it because they want more help. And we actually have to help them. So that's why I've got another 17 tools in the books to add to those 3. Because we actually have to give them something a bit more concrete, a bit more skill-based. And they are still the ones handling the situation, which is very empowering. Because the moment you do one thing and it works out fairly well, then you're empowered with the next situation in life and you don't know what might happen around the corner.
Yeah. And what is that one lesson that you'd like parents to instill on their kids upon reading this book?
Spend the time with them. Yeah. Talk to them. Find out what's happening. Listen to all the stories. Sometimes the stories might, from an adult's perspective, seem a bit sort of small or irrelevant. But to the child, it really matters. And often we don't have to fix it as adults and as teachers. Often kids just want us to know what's going on.
True.
Not rush off and go like storm into the school, approach another parent, and because often parents don't always have the whole story. You just have your child's perspective. So spend time with them, find out what's going on, ask your child what they really actually would like to do about it. That guides us then as to what our role is, whether it's to go to the school and ask for help, or whether it's to empower your child, or whether it's just to give them a hug and say, "I'm so sorry you had a bad day."
And the beauty of building children into leaders is the little things that we do every day that actually help them, mold them to become the individuals that they will be or they would like to be in future. And can you just briefly share with us some of the tips that can help parents teach children to be assertive?
Well, for me, it's for children, they must learn to be also, it's the respect they have for themselves, starts off for themselves, like to be able to know when don't you like how somebody's treating you?
Sure.
And then to say to kids, it's okay to stand up for yourself and to share how you think and feel about something. That's important. And because it builds into your self-esteem. Because then you think, I'm worthy of being treated in an appropriate way. It's not saying to be better than or to push somebody else down, but just to be in your own way true to who you are as a person.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
All right, Jo, great chatting to you.
Thank you so much, Mpiwe.
All right. That was Jo Hamilton. She's an educational psychologist and primary school teacher and has been speaking to us about her new and debut offering titled The Ultimate Assertiveness Toolbox for Kids, a read that contains 20 different things that you and your child can say or do, to help them to be assertive and stand up for themselves. We'll take a short break now. We'll be right back.